Привет всем! Меня зовут Антонина Ромакер, и сегодня мы будем изучать с вами разницу между местоимением «ты» и «вы». So, hi guys, my name is Antonia Romaker, welcome to Russian with Passion, and today we're going to study the difference between the pronouns ты, and вы. So, the reason why I've decided to devote a whole class to this issue is that in English, for example, there's no differentiating between second person singular and second person plural. So when we address many people or one person, it doesn't matter, we always say you in English. The problem is that in Russian, the situation is a little bit different. So when we address one person, just one person, and we know this person quite well. He's a friend, a relative, or a person who we have been communicating with for a long time. So we say ты. So if I know you quite well, I can say ты. Как у тебя дела? How are you? However, when we address many people, it doesn't matter whether they are friends, relatives, or just people we see for the first time, it doesn't matter. We always say вы. Как у вас дела? How are you doing? How are things? When I address many people. So, now, one more thing is, when you address one or many people in an official way, in a very polite way, then you say вы. So the form is the same as second person plural. But here we can address one person or many people in an official, in a formal, polite way. In addition, in writing, when you address politely one person or many people, you write вы with the first capital letter. By the way, the same in English. If you write a letter and you address somebody politely, officially, formally, you write the pronoun you with the first capital letter. The same in Russian. Okay, now, as for the situations in which you are supposed to address other people by saying вы, I mean the formal way, they are the following. First of all, when you address some people you do not know, you see for the first time, you are supposed to say вы. Здравствуйте, вы не могли бы мне помочь? Я потерялась. How do you do? Could you help me, please? I'm lost. So, of course, when you are in the street alone and you have lost your way, you're going to address some people you do not know and you see for the first time, and you are supposed to say вы. Polite, formal, official. Also, when kids address adults, they also say вы. This is a general rule. However, when adults address kids, they say ты. Now, as for different situations at work, it's actually a little bit more complicated than it seems. In some educational establishments, for example, and some governmental establishments, you're supposed to say вы. For example, when I taught at a university for 1 year, students addressed me by saying вы. And when you address a person and say вы, by the way, if you know this person's name, you are supposed to call him or her by his name and his second name. In Russian, отчество. Like, as for me, it would be Antonina Ivanovna. So, we have a surname like Ivanov, Petrov, Kamarskaya, and so on. So this is the surname, like Putin and Obama and others. We have a name like Mary, Scarlett and John. So my name is Antonina in Russian. This is the way I'm called. And we have also отчество. The word отчество is derived from the word отец, father. So we get our отчество from our father's name. For example, my father's name is Ivan, and that's why I am Antonina Ivanovna. When we are talking about a male person, usually we add the suffix "евич" or "ович", like Ivanovich, Petrovich, Petr Petrovich, Artur Arturovich, and so on. And when we deal with females, usually we add the suffix "евна" or "овна". Ivanovna, Petrovna, Arturovna, Igorevna, and so on. So that's it. When you address somebody in a formal and official way, usually if you know this person more or less, you address him or her by his name and his second name, по имени и отчеству. So you can address me by saying Antonina Ivanovna. So the students at my class at the university, when I was a teacher, addressed me as Antonina Ivanovna, and they addressed me using the pronoun вы. And by the way, when I studied at the university myself, I addressed the teachers by using the pronoun вы, and they addressed me by doing the same, at least most of the teachers. So it depends. As for work in general, it depends on the staff. In some groups, people prefer to call each other by a name and the second name and using the pronoun вы. While in other groups, at other companies, people prefer using the pronoun ты and addressing each other in a more friendly, in a more personal way, if I may put it like this. So it depends. Okay, once again, let's repeat very quickly. When do we use the pronoun ты? We use it just in one case, when we address one person in a friendly, informal, more or less unofficial way. When we communicate with our friends, relatives, people who are close to us, co-workers sometimes. And when do we use the pronoun вы? In all the other cases, when we address many people in a friendly, unofficial way, or when we address many people or just one person in an official, formal way. You can address me by saying ты, because I feel close to you, I'm trying to help you, and usually with my students, after a couple of classes, we use the pronoun ты to feel closer, to feel more relaxed while communicating. Now, do not forget that these pronouns have different forms in different cases. Okay, that's it. Now, at the end of this class, you will have a short exercise. Your job is to practice and to translate from English into Russian. So it's going to be a little bit challenging, but please rise to the challenge and do the exercise. Practice, it's very important. But that's it for today. I hope that today you learned some new Russian and you enjoyed the class. If you did, please press the button, like it and share it. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope to see you soon. Happy Russian and English practice. Love you guys. Bye. Do not forget that we are supposed to use different cases. If it's too difficult for you to define, then here's a little help. In the first sentence, you do not see the pronoun ты or вы, but it is implied. And in the second variant, in the brackets, there is вы. In the second sentence here, you can say «я заблудилась» if you are a female, «я заблудился» if you are a male. In the sentence number 5, we use the first and the second name of the Russian president. In number 7, you see there are 3 variants, because in number 1, it is for a male, in number 2, it's for a female, and in number 3, you use a plural variant. Because if you say you, it can be all 3, and in this situation, as long as you is written with the first little letter, we imply a friendly way of addressing one person or many people. As for sentence number 8, it's difficult to translate it. Shall we interact on a first name basis is not the same. In English, there's just you and that's it. So that's why it's a rough equivalent. Of course, if you address a person in Russian using the pronoun ty, it means that you interact on a first name basis.